ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
The ovary is located at the top of the pistil. Is that true? That's correct. What are the number of PN junctions in the vista? Bishop is here. 2. 2 is correct.
Your total is 39 points. The instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure.
Barometer.
Barometer. That is right. Thank you.
The ovary is located at the top of the pistil. Is that true? That's correct. What are the number of PN junctions in the vista? Bishop is here. 2. 2 is correct.
Your total is measure atmospheric pressure?
Barometer.
Barometer. That is right. Thank you.
The ovary is located at the top of the pistil. Is that true? False. That's correct. What are the number of PN junctions in the vesicle? Bishop is here. 2. 2 is correct.
Your total is 39 points. The instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure.
Barometer.
Barometer. That is right. Thank you.
ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I
warmly welcome to the 7th contest of the preliminary rounds of the Junior Science and Maths Quiz for the Ashanti region. And the quiz is kindly organized by the College of Science, the premier college, of course, at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, in collaboration with Eridec Ghana Limited, the Ghana Education Service, and DEX Technologies. We appreciate our Vice Chancellor in the person of Professor Mrs. Rita Akosia-Dixon for her unflinching support throughout the various or the years we have been running the quiz. And of course, we also appreciate the kindness of our Provost College of Science, Professor Leonard Amekuji. We thank the chair of the board of the Junior Science and Maths Quiz, Professor Kwesi Prekon, and of course, all the board members. We also have a number of sponsors, and we want to appreciate our sponsors for coming over to support us in diverse ways. Indeed, we are grateful to them. So the 2023 Junior Science and Maths Quiz is proudly, and I need to stress on the word proudly, sponsored by the KNUST E-Learning Center. They have been with us. They have taken a lot of pictures for all our media and video coverages. We can only say thank you to them. Thank you so very much. The KNUST Institute of Distance Learning, we thank you. They have made, indeed, our journey around the country very easy and extremely pleasurable. And we can only say thank you to them. And DEX Technologies, at DEX Technologies, we say a new beginning to new engineers. We want to applaud them for coming on board to collaborate with us, and importantly, for always sponsoring the round 3 of our competition, the Technology Challenge. We thank you so very much. That challenge is always hands-on and extremely exciting. Let me also salute, do we have some heads of institutions, the schools? Are the head teachers here? The headmistresses? Are they here? Thank you very much. How about the teachers or the educators? Thank you very much. I'm sure you have really prepared your contestants very well. Can we applaud them? It is not easy being a teacher. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, I always tell young people that it is not easy being seated on the stage. We need to applaud our contestants by coming out, making themselves ready, bracing the occasion to, I guess, make their schools proud. A round of applause for our contestants. And of course, we always have our supporters. Can we applaud ourselves? Supporters, well done. Thank you very much. Remember that the sole aim of the Junior Science and Maths Quiz is just so we are able to prepare our young people who are in the junior high schools. We want to psych them up when it comes to the physical and life sciences so that they can be prepared to face the challenges of life, especially when it comes to their careers. And so we expect that it generates a lot of excitement, a lot of teamwork, and importantly, it is also able to generate a lot of critical thinking. I'm sure the schools have prepared themselves well. Have you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I honestly don't know which of the schools will win, but let's see. By the way, my name is Augustina Angelina Silverkin. I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Theoretical and Applied Biology, and I'm also a senior research fellow at the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research in Tropical Medicine, and I will definitely be your quiz mistress for this contest. So we have three schools for this particular contest. So we have competing in the contest, we have FEYIASE DAJHS. I'll let them explain what the DA stands for. We also have VSWIAMOASE SDA. I'll let them explain what SDA. Oh, you should clap for them. And then we also have Notre Dame Preparatory JHS. I hope I've pronounced it well.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. All right. Now, we also want to hear the voices of our contestants, isn't it? Do we want to hear them? Right. So let's go to FEYIASE. But what does the DA stand for?
The DA stands for District Assembly.
District Assembly. Wow. So FEYIASE District Assembly Junior High School is proudly represented by, yes, so you mentioned your name and the form you are in.
Okay. I'm in the person of Florence Georgina Mkavi, a basic BS9 student.
BS9 is JHS3, I guess. All right. A round of applause for her.
I am Jefferson Entefo, a student of Basic 9.
Right. A round of applause for Jefferson. So we have Florence and Jefferson representing FEYIASE DAJHS. Then VSWIAMOASE SDA is also proudly represented by and a round of applause for them. And I'm sure the SDA stands for Seventh-day Adventists. Right. And then Notre Dame. Notre Dame Preparatory Junior High School is also proudly represented by
Abeka Dennis
and Ellen Osu Aber.
A round of applause for them. Well done. And so, contestants, I will kindly recommend that you leave your microphones on. Do not turn your microphones off. And I also need you to speak into the microphones so that your supporters will be able to hear you and cheer you on appropriately. And I'm sure the contestants can also see some instruments or equipment in front of them, known as buzzers. And these are the only means you can use if you want to draw my attention to your school and so to yourselves as a contestant or as contestants. So let's test the sound from the buzzers from the various schools. So FEYIASE DAJHS, can we hear the sound from your buzzer? Good. VSWIAMOASE. Good. Notre Dame. Excellent. So we are good to go. There will be 5 rounds in this contest, 4 rounds in the contest. The fundamentals, the fastest brain, fastest finger, the technology challenge, and then decoding the clues. But I need to assure contestants that I'll be reading the instructions before every round. However, I will beseech all the contestants to pay attention whilst I go through the instructions. Are we okay? And I will not read the questions twice, only in some few situations. So you've got to pay attention. Are we all okay?
Yes.
Right. So we'll start with round 1. Round 1, known as the fundamentals. This round consists of questions related to biology, physics, chemistry, and mathematics, as well as ICT. And if a school answers a question correctly, 3 points will be awarded. If it is incorrectly answered, it will become available as a bonus to the 2 other schools to compete for. And the bonus question is worth 1 point. Schools will be given 15 seconds to answer questions that do not require calculations and 40 seconds to answer questions that require calculations. And by the way, each school will have a maximum of 2, only 2 attempts to answer your main question and only 1 attempt to answer a bonus question. And the bonus questions are always open to the schools, to the 2 other schools to compete for. And you can compete for bonus questions by ringing the buzzer. However, please note that if you decide to press the buzzer and you go ahead to answer a question, I will nullify that particular answer, even in a situation whereby the answer may be correct. So it means that you ring the buzzer or you press the buzzer, and then you wait for me to call your school or your name. Then you can go ahead with the answer or the answers. Are we okay?
Yes.
All right. So I wish you all the best. Best wishes to everyone.
Thank you.
So round 1. I'll give you 15 seconds to answer the questions and their definitions. Definitions, that's the preamble. So you need to define the following. FEYIASE JHS, communicable diseases.
Communicable disease are diseases that can spread in a geographic.
So unfortunately they've lost their time, but it's available as a bonus. Yes, VSWIAMOASE.
Communicable diseases are diseases that can transmit from one person to another.
Not for a bonus. Not for a bonus. Not for a bonus. So, you know, in definitions, you always look out for keywords, isn't it? Keywords. So I was looking out for infectious agents, because for a disease to be a communicable disease, there has to be an infectious agent, and that agent needs to be passed on from one person to another through contaminated organisms, such as a pathogen or a microorganism. So please, remember that when you are defining, you've got to look out for keywords. VSWIAMOASE, contagious diseases. Notre Dame as a bonus.
We get from
Contagious diseases are diseases that we get from contaminated substances and cannot be transferred from one person to another.
No. So again, we know that for contagious diseases, they are spread through direct bodily contact with an infected person. And they can actually be transferred from a human being or from an object. Once the object or the human being has some contaminated organism, then it can be transferred. All right? Notre Dame, metabolic diseases.
They are the type of disease which results in improper function of.
Unfortunately, your time is up. FEYIASE.
They are infectious diseases that are passed on when one gets in contact with waste substances.
No. So metabolic, we know that once there's a change or a disruption in the normal metabolic activity of the body, then it ends up in a metabolic disease. I hope you are learning. I hope you are learning. Right. The next set of questions, question 2. There's a preamble. Describe the icons that perform the following functions in Microsoft Word. VSWIAMOASE, bolding selected text. Notre Dame.
Control plus B.
Not for a bonus. Because, you know, we have small b and big B. So,
Capital.
no, you've exhausted I hope you listened to the instructions. Right. Notre Dame. Underline selected text.
Control plus capital U.
That's correct for... Okay. So I'll go back to the bonus. I'll give you the control plus B. But I think next time you have to be specific. FEYIASE. Italize selected text.
Control plus capital I.
No. So it's bonus VSWIAMOASE.
Control plus slight I.
No. So you know what? I was looking out for the icons because, you know, on your word processor up there you find some icons. So here, in terms of the italize, you need capital I italiced or italiced, right? The next question, question 3. Again, there's a preamble. Give the name for the type of reaction that takes place when Notre Dame, a single element reacts with a compound and takes the place of another element in that compound.
Covalent bond.
No. FEYIASE.
Chemical reaction.
No. Yeah, so it's a single displacement or substitution reaction because you know what? That element reacted, but it was replaced by another element. So there's a replacement. So there's actually a displacement. Right. Substitution reaction. FEYIASE. 2 or more reactants combine to form a single product.
Chemical reaction.
No.
Compound.
No. Notre Dame. They've been timed up. So it's a combination reaction or synthesis reaction. Question 3. VSWIAMOASE, your major question. A substance ignites or burns in the presence of oxygen.
Binary compound.
Say again.
Binary compound.
No. FEYIASE.
Chemical reaction.
No. Unfortunately, the time is up. So it is a combustion reaction in the presence of oxygen. A round of applause for our contestants. Question 4, there's a preamble to the schools. And I'll give you 40 seconds because it involves some calculations. FEYIASE. A train traveled a distance of 100 kilometers in 2 hours. Its average speed was
Fifty kilometers.
I'll listen to Notre Dame first, and yes, Notre Dame.
50 meter per kilometer per.
So it's not even your time. Now it's time.
50 kilometers per hour.
So I'll give it to Notre Dame because so I think I'll use my powers to nullify that. You've got to wait for the time to be up for that major question before you can go ahead with attempting to answer the bonus. All right? So I won't give the answer now. When we are through with the set of questions, then I'll go ahead and let you know the answers. VSWIAMOASE, a train traveled a distance of 180 kilometers in 5 hours. Its average speed was yes, Doreen.
30 hours.
No.
30 kilometers per hour.
No. FEYIASE.
36 kilometers per hour.
That's correct for a point. Notre Dame, your major question. A train traveled a distance of 600 kilometers in 5 hours. Its average speed was
120 kilometers per hour.
That's correct for 3 points. So we know that units are always very important. Units. If you give your answer in kilometers, that is not speed. Right. Question 5. You also have 40 seconds. And there's a preamble. The taxes levied on purchases and services in a particular town are as follows. Value added tax, known as VAT or abbreviated VAT, equals 12.5%. Get fund equals 5%. Tourism levy equals 1.6%. I'll go over it again. So the taxes levied on purchases and services in a particular town are as follows. Value added tax is equal to 12.5%. Get fund is equal to 5%. Tourism levy equals 1.6%. FEYIASE, what will be the total tax levied on a laptop with a cost price of 1,500 Ghana cedis for VAT and Get Fund only?
2,625 Ghana cedis.
No.
185 Ghana cedis.
No. Notre Dame.
195 Ghana cedis.
No. Actually, time was up. All right. So once, contestants, once it is your major question, there's no need to press the buzzer. I know people are jittery and you want to get some points, but take it easy, coolly. Once it's your major question, don't press the buzzer. Once it's a bonus, then you can go ahead. So I'll hold on with the answer. VSWIAMOASE, if a popular hotel in the town costs 800 Ghana cedis per night before task, calculate the cost for a 3-night stay with only the tourism levy.
Is go.
128 Ghana cedis.
No, Williams. That's incorrect. FEYIASE.
384 Ghana cedis.
No. So again, I'll hold on with the answer. Notre Dame, you've got to wait for their time to be up, all right? Yes. Before you press the buzzer. Notre Dame, your major question. A customer bought items worth 1,000 Ghana cedis. If there is a 2% municipal tax in addition to the VAT, gets fund, and tourism levies, how much in total would the customer pay to the cashier? Is it Dennis? It's your major question, so go ahead.
1,320 Ghana cedis.
No. So yes, FEYIASE.
1,750.
No, my dear friends. So I gave you percentages, right? So you had to find those percentages and then you would add them to the cost prices. So for example, for the last one, I only added 2% municipal tax. You already know about the VAT 12.5. You know about the Get Fund, which I think was 5%, and then the tourism levy. And all of them were in percentages. So you find the percentages and then you add them to the cost of that particular item. Again, for the 3 nights, you have to multiply the number of days or number of nights times the cost, the 800 by 3. And then you find the tax. Then you add it and you get your, so I'll go through the answers. I hope you appreciate them. So for FEYIASE, the total tax levied on a laptop with a cost price of 1,500 for VAT and Get Fund, 262.50 Ghana cedis. Then for the 3 nights at a hotel, 2,438.40 Ghana cedis. Then the last one, the plus 2% municipal tax. Very simple, 1,211 Ghana cedis. So I hope going forward you would be able to do justice to the calculations. Question 6. Question 6. So I'll be making some statements and you are expected to state whether they are true or false. And the questions cannot be passed on as bonuses. And I need only one answer. It's either true or it is false. It cannot be true and then later on it cannot be false. So contestants, please pay attention and be on guard, all right? Notre Dame. Notre Dame. The outer part of the ear that collects sound waves is the pinna.
False.
Unfortunately, that's a true statement. I have been hearing some whispers. I have very sharp ears, so please, supporters, we beg you. FEYIASE, the cloacia is a spiral-shaped, fluid-filled inner ear structure that is essential for both hearing and balance.
False.
Is it just Jefferson?
False.
Oh, no, that's a true statement. VSWIAMOASE, the ossicles are a pair of small bones in the middle ear that amplify sound waves. Yes, Williams.
True.
That's a false statement. There are 3 bones. I said a pair. So that means 2, but it needs to be 3. Unfortunately, on that false note, we have come to the end of round 1. A round of applause for our contestants.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was true for certificates.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6, a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was true for pass and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back.
Yeah, so we have one more round to go, and I also have some few deductions to make. But we'll go through the round, then I'll go ahead and do the deductions. I'll go through those questions and tell you why they were answered wrongly. So the last set of questions, question 7, FEYIASE, your major question. Mercury takes, so it's still true or false? Mercury takes 59 Earth days to complete one full rotation.
False.
It's a true statement. VSWIAMOASE. Daytime on Mercury lasts for 89 Earth days. That is a false statement. The last one to Notre Dame. Mercury takes 88 days to rotate around the sun.
False.
That is a true statement. A round of applause for our contestants. Then you know what? I said I'll deduct some points from Notre Dame. It was actually VSWIAMOASE's major question. The question that had to do with icons. And you know what? I even explained that I was looking out for icons you will find on top of your word processor. So the question had to do with the icon that will perform bolding selected text. And it is capital B in bold. They said Notre Dame as a bonus, they said control, but I wasn't interested in how you get onto the keyboard. It had to do with just a description of the icons. And so I would deduct 1 point from their marks. And on that note, we have come to the end of round 1. Remember, the Junior Science and Maths quiz is proudly sponsored by the E-Learning Center at KNUST, the IDL Center at KNUST, and DEX Technologies. And I have my marks readily available. So at the end of round 1, FEYIASE DAJHS has 1 point. A round of applause for them. VSWIAMOASE SDA-JHS, 0 marks. Notre Dame Preparatory JHS, 6 marks. So we'll zoom in directly to round 2. Round 2 is the fastest brain, fastest finger. Contestants, don't worry. We still have some more rounds to go, okay? You need to look cheerful. Right. So it's the fastest brain, fastest finger. And here I'll read one question out, and the contestant will be expected to compete to be the first to answer the questions. And each correct answer carries 4 points. 4 points. And when a contestant is ready to respond with an answer, they need to press the buzzer before they answer. Now, answering before pressing the buzzer will disqualify you. So you press, I call you, and you answer. However, once you press the buzzer, you have only 3 seconds to produce the answer. Don't press and wait and be thinking. So think on your feet, press, and then you release the answer. And if a school gets a particular question wrong, the 2 remaining schools, they can compete to answer that particular question. There's a caveat here. A wrong answer in this round will attract a penalty of 1 point. And I think and I hope that all the schools would want to guard what they have already accrued. You don't want to sink into the negatives. So please make sure you really have the answer. I wish you all the best. All the best. Which key can be used to type uppercase Notre Dame?
Caps lock.
In place of the caps lock key
Shift.
on a computer keyboard.
Shift.
Notre Dame, you have only one. So I'll disqualify that particular answer. So listen, once you have pressed the buzzer, you have only one chance. All right? We have to be fair. And I hope you listened attentively when I was going through the instructions. Okay, Dennis and Ellen. The next question. The structure in the eye that produces tears, which help maintain the moisture of the anterior surface of the eye, is called Notre Dame.
The vitreous humor.
No. Anyone in the audience? Anyone? Not a teacher, a student? So we know it is the lacrimal gland. Lacrimal. I'll spell it for you. L-A-C-R-Y-M-A-L. The next, and of course you add gland. The next question. What is common among transition metals concerning their oxidative state? Notre Dame.
They have variable oxidation state.
Yes, that's correct. For 4 points. 4 points. 4 points. So we have iron 2, iron 3, copper 2, and so on and so. And these are examples of transition metals. The next one. What does the acronym SQL stand for in ICT? Anyone? Yes. Go on. Yes, structures. A round of applause for him. Of course, from FEYIASE, but unfortunately, this will not be counted. Well done. What is the absolute sum of the numbers 25, negative 29, negative 22, and 23? Notre Dame.
5.
No. FEYIASE.
-3.
No. VSWIAMOASE. -4. No. So it is +3. +3. Because you know what? Absolute figures are always positive. They are always positive. Yes. Next question. What compound is precipitated when Benedict solution is used to test for the presence of reducing sugars? Anyone? You know copper 1 oxide? Copper 1 oxide. The next question, question 7. Now pay attention. A map is drawn to the scale, and I'm giving you the ratio. 1:500,000,000. 500,000. A student measured a distance between two towns on the map as 36 millimeters. What is the actual distance between the towns? Did any one of you try to calculate it? I'm sure they were struggling with the conversion. So the correct answer is 18 kilometers. 18 kilometers. I gave you the ratio, and then the distance was in millimeters. Of course, you could have also given your answer in millimeters, but I'm wondering who would really do that. That would have been 18,000 meters. Now the last question in the round. In physics, how is intensity defined? Yes. Notre Dame, Ellen.
Intensity is a light traveled by any object.
No. The time is up. So it's the power per unit area. Power per unit area per physics. On that note, we have come to the end of round 2. Congratulations to all our schools and a round of applause for them.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
I do.
Yes, thank you very much. I have some marks to deduct. That's question about the icons. My experts have reviewed the videos, the coverage, and apparently Notre Dame also used control something. And I said I was looking out for icons. So I have deducted three points because it was their major question. They answered it as a bonus, and then they answered bonus from FEYIASE, no, from VSWIAMOASE, and then they also had their major question. So I would deduct 3 points from that one. A round of applause for them. So I have my results. So just so you are not super curious, I'll give you the scores they made only in round 2. And then I'll give you the total scores. So FEYIASE DAJHS -1. VSWIAMOASE SDA-JHS -1, Notre Dame Preparatory JHS 0. Now the total scores. So at the end of round 2, FEYIASE DA-JHS has 0 points. A round of applause for them. VSWIAMOASE SDA-JHS -1. And Notre Dame Preparatory JHS 3 points. So we'll get into round 3, but before then, there's a substitution. There's a substitution for Notre Dame. So thank you very much, Ellen Owusu Adai. A round of applause for her. And Kelvin Sapon Ejekum will replace Ellen. Well done, Ellen. So allow Kelvin to mention his name and the form he's in.
Kelvin Ajikum Sampon, second year.
A round of applause for him. But Kelvin, you should always sit, okay? You can just adjust the microphone, all right? Welcome.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Welcome to round 3. Round 3, the technology, the science and technology challenge, which is powered by Dex Science Set. And here, one question will be given to all schools. Contestants, are you paying attention? Right. The question in this round will require contestants to perform a task that will be assessed. The score for this round is 10 points. And the contestants will be given up to 10 minutes to complete a task. And like I said, this particular round, round 3, is powered by Dex Science Set. So we have provided the contestants with two lasers labeled L1 and L2, a lens labeled L, a screen labeled S, and a ruler. Please check if you have all these in your set. So, do you have two lasers? Do you have a lens? Do you have a lens? Can I get some responses, dear students? Do you have a lens? Okay. Do you have a screen? Do you have a screen? And do you have a long ruler? Okay. So, now listen. It's a very simple task. And the contestants, VSWIAMOASE, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you have everything? Okay. So the contestants are expected to place the two lasers 2 centimeters apart. And the laser should be upwards. Now, they also need to place the screen 35 centimeters away from the tip of the first laser. And then they need to switch on the lasers and observe the positions of the light. Now, when they are through with this task, for being able to do this, execute this, I'll give them 1 mark. I'll go through the scheme later. Then they are also expected to place the lens in between the lasers and the screen. And then there will be the need for them to switch the laser on and adjust the distance between the lens and the screen until the 2 lasers are seen vertically on the screen. That is, one laser is directly and vertically above the other. Now, once this is done, they are expected to mark the positions of the 2 lasers. And beyond marking, they also need to measure that distance, the distance between the 2 lasers. And then, when they are done, they are also expected to measure the distance between the lens and the screen. So it's a very simple task. But it's not just about executing the task, they are also expected to answer some questions. So I need them to write what their observation was or would be in task 2, and then how it was possible for their results in task 4 compared to their observation in task 2. And importantly, the last question, if the convex lens is replaced with a concave lens, what their observation would be. Contestants, are you okay? Are you ready? I mean, you also have the instructions in front of you. So you have 10 minutes, and remember, you will get 10 points once you are able to go through everything and answer the related questions. And your 10 minutes start from now. All the best. Contestants, you have a minute to go. 1 minute. Make sure you have indicated the name of your school on the sheet, your answer sheet. Write the name of your school on the answer sheet. Stop work. Your pens must be down. Notre Dame. Stop work. Stop work. FEYIASE, can I have your script? Your sheet? VSWIAMOASE, Notre Dame. Thank you. So I guess it was an interesting experiment for you, was it? Was it difficult to execute the task? Was it difficult? Turn your microphones on, please. Was it difficult for you to execute? Or it was easy? Notre Dame, was it easy? Or it was confusing?
It was a bit difficult.
A bit difficult. VSWIAMOASE. Confusing. FEYIASE.
Very difficult.
Very difficult. But you know what? I saw a lot of teamwork. And this is what the Junior Science and Math Quiz is interested in. Teamwork. You come together. Sometimes you disagree, you agree, and then you go on with the execution of the task. So it was an interesting task. We gave you that 2 lenses, and we gave you a screen. And we also gave you lasers, 2 lasers actually, 2 lasers and 1 screen. We asked you to ensure that the 2 lasers, they were not together, but there was a distance between them, so 2 centimeters. And as I went to each of the schools, I saw the way some people had placed their lasers and so on and so forth. But importantly, we also gave you a convex lens. And you know what a convex lens will do? And the idea was for you to measure, to place your screen and so have a certain distance between your screen and your 2 lasers. And you would, I'm sure you all saw 2 lights because you had 2 lasers. Did you see 2 lights? Yes. And we gave you a distance. So we gave you 35 centimeters. So it meant you had to use the big ruler to measure the distance. But you know what? The very moment you placed the convex lens between the 2 lasers and the screen, your convex lens did something. It converged the light. And we said that it has to be such that one light will be on top, vertical of the other. That the 2 lights would never be together. So there was no way for you to see 1 dot because there was a distance between the 2 lenses. Did you see that? Yes. All right. So we asked you to measure the distance between the lights on the screen. Very tiny distance. And then beyond that, we also asked you to measure the distance between the screen and the lens. Then there were some questions. Some of the questions were, 1, what was your observation in task 2? So I'm going through the marking scheme. So if you were able to execute the task, I'll definitely will give you some marks. And then we asked you to mark the positions of the 2 lenses and measure them. So I'll come around to see if you actually marked them. And then based on that, I'll give you some scores or some points. And importantly, we asked you to also measure the distance between the lens and the screen. So if you went through the steps appropriately, you would have measured, in terms of the distance between the 2 lasers, 0.5, anything between 0.5 and 0.7 centimeters. Quite, very tiny. 0.5 to 0.7, so within that range. And then in terms of the distance between the lens and the screen, the lens, that convex lens and the screen, anything between 16 centimeters and 17 centimeters. People are looking at their faces. Then the related question. So what was your observation in task 2? In task 2, you had not placed any lens in between your LED, how do you call them? Your lasers, your 2 lasers and your screen. So there was quite a distance, a significant distance between them in terms of the light you saw on the screen. And then the next one had to do with how was it possible for your results in task 4? Remember, in task 4, we asked you to switch on the laser, adjust the distance, and ensure that the 2 lasers were vertically on the screen, and 1 laser was directly and vertically above the other. And so how was it possible that you saw just a short distance, but then the initial task, you saw quite a significant distance? It was possible because you used a convex lens. And of course, the fact that once you positioned or you placed a convex lens between the screen and your lasers, there was some convergence of the 2 lights, bringing them very close to each other. And then out of smartness, we also wanted to test you that, yes, we gave you a convex lens. So imagine if you had a concave lens. If you had a concave lens, definitely there would have been divergence, right? The light would have diverged. And so you would have seen an increase in the distance of the light, the light from the laser on the screen. So you would have seen a huge distance. So this was the task and the related answers. Is this what you wrote? Yes or no? Okay. So I'll go through the scheme, the points. So executing the task, I said I'll give you something. I saw all of you positioning or placing the screen away from the tip of the lasers. So I'll give 1 mark. And then ability to switch on the laser. But this will be based on the distance you measured. So if you were able to get that range of 2 distances, 2 marks, and then marking the position and measuring them per the distance, 1 mark, and then measuring the distance between the lens and the screen, 1 mark, then your observation, 1 mark, why you saw what you saw compared with the initial observation, 2 marks, and if you had been given a concave lens, what your observation would have been, also 2 marks. So making a total of 10 marks or 10 points. So once I've gone through the master marking scheme, I'll go, so in no particular order. This is the answer sheet from FEYIASE. So in terms of marking the positions of the two lasers and measure the distance between them, they have 6 centimeters. And like I said, very tiny. So anything between 0.5 and 0.7. So they get 0 for this one. And then the distance between the lens and the screen, anything 16 centimeters to 17 centimeters. They have 10 centimeters. So they also get 0 for this particular one. And then the beam, so the observation, what was your observation in tax 2? They have written, and I'm reading it as they have written here. The beam of light from the laser will travel in a straight line. It will travel in a straight line. And no, that wasn't the observation. And how was it possible for your results in tax 4 compared to your observation in tax 2? They have written the light passed. That's it. And obviously, this is not what was expected. And your observation, if the convex lens is replaced with a concave lens, they did not write anything, so they will get 0. And so it's as if they did not really understand the activity very well. But then I saw them put in a lot of effort. And for that, I'll give them 3 out of 10. 3 for their effort. 3 out of 10. Notre Dame. So the distance, they have 8 centimeters, which is wrong. The distance between the lens and the screen, they have 15 centimeters, which is also wrong. I said 16 to 17 centimeters. The observation, they have indicated, since the cardboard is an opaque object, light was not able pass through, and since the lens was transparent object, no. So they also get nothing for this. And subsequent questions, they did not attempt to answer. So again, just like FEYIASE, I saw them a lot of effort, trying to do things, putting in a lot of effort. So I'll also give them 3 out of 10. A round of applause for them. SDA, again, they have written distance 2 centimeters. That is incorrect. Distance between the lens and the screen, they have 18 centimeters. That is not correct. Their observation, they have indicated. Our observation in tax 2 is that the reflected light form a straight line. That is not true. That is also incorrect. And then they also have written for the question, how was it possible for your result in tax 4 compared to your observation in tax 2? They have the 2 lights passes, so the 2 light passes through the lens. That is also not correct. And for their observation in terms of replacing the convex lens with a concave lens, they also did not write anything. So again, like the 2 previous schools or the 2 other schools, they also did not get anything correct. But like I said, I saw them. I mean, they were seriously, together and teaming up to do something. So for effort, I'll give them 3 out of 3. So I won't go over that. I'll just go straight to the total scores. So at the end of round 3, FEYIASE DAJHS has 3 points. A round of applause for them. VSWIAMOASE SDA JHS, they have 2 points. Notre Dame Preparatory JHS, they have 6 points. Well done to the competing schools. Remember that the 2023 Junior Science and Maths Quiz is proudly sponsored by the KNUST E-Learning Center, IDL, and DEX Technologies. And we appreciate DEX Technologies for supporting and sponsoring the round 3. Round 4 is decoding the clues round. And here, the questions will be read out as a series of clues. Notre Dame, are you paying attention as I read the instructions?
Yes, madam.
Right. So I said that the questions will be read out as a series of clues. If the question is answered on the first clue, 6 points. If answered on the second clue, 5. That's a lot, 5 points. If answered correctly on the third clue, 4 points. And on the fourth and subsequent clues, 3 points. And here, the contestants are to press the buzzer before attempting to answer the question. Again, let me say that failure to press the buzzer before answering the question will disqualify you from that question. And it will also nullify your answer, even in a situation whereby your answer is correct. I wish you all the best. Remember, this is the very last round for this particular contest. Okay? Right. I am a well-known concept in physics. I am directly related to inertia. The more of me an object has, the more force it takes to change its motion. I am the measure of matter contained in an object. I am often confused. Notre Dame.
Mass.
Mass is correct. So on the fourth clue, which means that's 3 points. 3 points. The next set. Remember, we have only 4 sets. The next set. I am a protective structure in animals. I am often referred to as a chamber where tiny organisms grow. I am found in female animals and serve as a crucial part of their reproductive system? Notre Dame.
Uterus.
Uterus is correct. So he provided the correct answer on the third clue, which means that they have 4 points. The last but one. So the third set. I am an ICT term that is noted to be a gatekeeper. I stand guard against unauthorized access. FEYIASE.
Firewall.
I am primarily concerned with protecting information. Notre Dame.
Antivirus.
I play a crucial role like defending against nefarious fate for organizations. I keep the world safe from hackers. The question is, who am I? Anyone amongst us, apart from the contestant, not a teacher, not an educator, a student? We know authentication. Authentication. Yes, I knew people would say, oh. The very last one. The very last one. I am a fundamental in various fields like physics, engineering, and economics. I am often symbolized by the letters of the alphabet. I help to find unknown values in equations. Notre Dame.
Variables.
Through me, various real-world problems can be modeled and solved. VSWIAMOASE. I am a branch of mathematics that deals with quantities, magnitudes, and properties of numbers. I consist of constants and variables. Who am I? FEYIASE.
Algebraic expression.
Algebraic expression. On the sixth clue, so they have 3 points. And on that exciting moment, we have come to the end of round 4. Congratulations to the competing schools. A round of applause for them. It is always important to appreciate our sponsors. So please remember that this particular quiz, the 2023 Junior Science and Maths Quiz, is organized by the Premier College of Science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in collaboration with Eridec Ghana Limited, the Ghana Education Service, and Dex Technologies. And this year's quiz is also proudly sponsored by the KNUST E-Learning Center. Indeed, we applaud them for all our media and video coverages. The KNUST Institute of Distance Learning, we say thank you for making all our journeys around the nation pleasurable and exciting. And Dex Technologies, we say a new beginning to new engineers. And we appreciate Dex Technologies for always making our technology challenge a reality. And they also try to make it hands-on. Thank you so very much. Can we applaud our contestants? So I have the scores. So for round four, FEYIASE has 3 points. VSWIAMOASE 0. And Notre Dame Preparatory School 7. But I know this is not what you are interested in. You are interested in the overall, the grand, isn't it? Right. So in terms of the total scores, in ascending order, increasing order, VSWIAMOASE Seventh-day Adventist JSS has JHS has 2 points. A round of applause for them. FEYIASE Junior High School, 6 points. And of course, Notre Dame Preparatory JHS, 13 points. We want to thank VSWIAMOASE SDA for joining us on the stage. Hopefully, we'll see you next year when we start with the Ashanti Regional Contest. FEYIASE, we thank you so very much. Very engaging, very energetic. However, this may be the very end of the road for you. Notre Dame Preparatory Junior High School. Well done. I'm sure you proceed to the next stage. And remember that the quiz is really becoming hotter and hotter and hotter. So go and get yourselves very well prepared to face your next round of quizzes. Thank you so very much to my engaging audience. And of course, my name is Dr. Mrs. Augustina Angelina Silverkin, a senior lecturer at the Department of Theoretical and Applied Biology and a senior research fellow at the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research. We have another contest. And that will be between VSWIAMOASE MAJHS, Divine Mission Academy, and it's a French word, La Fontaine International School. I'm expecting it to be very engaging and very exciting. If you have the time, my students, just stay on and join in the next quiz. I'll see you later on in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this it is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest. And I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6, a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science Sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
The ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. At first, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest. And I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6, a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science Sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.